Hi there, I'm Monty McKinnon. Thanks for joining me. Today, right off the bat, before we did anything, I needed to fit this truss rod into the neck because it bulges out here just a bit, and this is just a straight cut, so you have to make allowances for that and cut that so it's going to fit in there. And then the next thing I had to do was, of course, to adjust the slot here so that this would fit in there like that, nice and tight. Now, this all worked extremely well, except I ended up chipping out the side here, and right off the bat, hello Star Bond, I ended up getting my thin glue out here and my accelerator, and I was able to take, as you can see in this video, I was able to put the chisel up against it, hold the piece in place, and while it's in place, I then drop the glue in there and then hit it with the accelerator, and then that just, it makes it like brand new wood. It's just so good. So I obviously like this stuff and highly recommend it, because I'm using it all the time when you're building a guitar. You get little fractures here and there, and that glue comes in perfect to fill the fractures and make the wood whole again. Now, the next thing we're going to do here is I put the nut up in here, because today we're going to cut this fingerboard and we're going to taper it. So what I do is I take an extra pair of hands here and I clip it on there so it's nice and tight, and I can see that I'm basically at the 14th fret, and that's going to fit, although I don't have the truss rod in there, right in there like so. Now what I want to do is I wanted to know, this is obviously too long, I got to cut this piece off, so where do I cut it? And it looks like I'm cutting it right at the 22nd slot, so I'm going to go over to the table saw in just a minute, and we'll cut that off, and then I'll show you the jig again, and then we'll taper this thing. Now that I have the binding on the side here along with the purfling, and I just squeeze it together just to get a feel for it, I like the look of it, and I measured at the top here where the nut is going to be, and it is exactly 1 3/4 inches. So if I wanted to make that wider, then I would just undo that slot a bit and just move that thing back about a 1/16 of an inch, because you're cutting it on both sides. So that would work fairly well. Anyway, I'm very pleased with this. I think at the 14th fret, yes, take a look at this. So there it is set up at the 14th fret, and that's where this is going to rest, right in here. So it's just coming just to the top of the circle. You could have it up here. You know what, it doesn't really matter. I just prefer to have it just down in this area. Now, what I will do is there's a tight edge here, just a slight edge, probably a 32nd of an inch, and I will bump a little of that off on the sander to make it perfectly flush, which will raise that even more. And I'd rather do that on the sander now that I can put this up here, because it doesn't really matter, because this is not going to be a playable area. So we're looking pretty good. That cut extremely well. I'm very pleased with it. And then soon we'll get that glued on here, and it'll look like this. It'll fit in here like this. And then we will start doing all the adjusting and setting up doing the setups and all that. And you'll see me do all of that in detail. So I think that should end it for this video. Thank you very much. I'd like to get up there, get it edited, and get it up today. And I'll have a cup of tea while I do that. Then I'm going for a walk, and then I'm coming back and working on the book again. Because I find if I go for a walk, it clears my head and helps me think of situations in the mystery that should be in the mystery. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.